Well, after a couple long weeks, we finally got some new Stranger Things 5 set photos today, and they might have revealed a lot about Season 5, so we're going to dive into them, analyze them, and I'm going to give you my analysis on each picture from the set and potentially make some theories regarding them. Before I get into this Stranger Things 5 update, be sure to drop a like. Let's go for 200 likes on this video. Check out my Discord where we talk Stranger Things every single day, and check out my new website, Relay.News. I have a newsletter. I'm releasing a new newsletter on Sunday with a new theory, fun fact, discussion, and filming update for Stranger Things 5 with some leaks, so be sure to join that. And yeah, without further ado, let's get right into this Stranger Things 5 update. So the first picture we're going to talk about is by far the most popular one of today, and that was Jonathan and Nancy in the back of Steve Harrington's BMW, which is very interesting. The love triangle is back again. The trio who took down the Demogorgon in season 1 is back again. They're reunited, and the first picture that was posted was this picture of Jonathan and Nancy in this car. And there's a few interesting details about this photo that a lot of people don't already know, and also Netflix posted it, so obviously it's the most popular one. The first obvious detail of this photo is this most likely confirms that Jonathan and Nancy are going to be the end game for that love triangle. It's not going to be Steve and Nancy. I'm not going to lie to you. I was pretty confident that it was going to be Steve and Nancy. Not even because I want it to be Steve and Nancy. It's just because that's just what I thought was going to happen. That was my theory. I don't actually care about ships that much, but it did look like it was going to line up to be Steve and Nancy to end off season 5, but it seems like it's going to be Jonathan and Nancy now with these leaked photos. So that's one detail we took from this photo. Another detail that has been sort of spilled out and hinted at throughout the internet is that this photo was actually taking place in season 5, episode 4 of the final season. Meaning that sometime in season 5, episode 4, Jonathan and Nancy are in the back of Steve's BMW screaming at something and driving away from something. If that doesn't scream Stranger Things to you, then I don't know what does. Regardless though, I'm glad that Jonathan doesn't look like he's, a pothead anymore. He has short hair now. He kind of looks more so like season 1 Jonathan. Nancy looks good as always, and Steve pretty much looks like the same Steve we've seen for the last 4 seasons. Another interesting thing about Jonathan, which made me think even more, is that they posted Jonathan in this photo dump 3 different times. So the first one was with Nancy in the back of the BMW. The second one was Jonathan with one of the Duffer brothers. I don't know if it was Ross or Matt, but he was with one of the Duffer brothers. And then the third one was the VFX shot that they tweeted out back in 2023, but they posted it again this time because it's a part of that BMW scene with them in the back of the car. That's Jonathan's shot in the VFX. I guess in the VFX example, that's what Jonathan is going to look like when he screams or whatever. But yeah, so they posted 3 different photos, 3 different versions of Jonathan, which I thought was very interesting. Maybe they're just saying Jonathan's going to have a bigger role, or we're seeing OG Jonathan, not the pothead Jonathan, or maybe they're hinting at Jonathan doing something that we don't know what he's going to do. Maybe he's going to have a heroic moment or sacrifice himself or whatever. Either way, I'm excited. And these photos involving Steve, Nancy, and Jonathan were by far the most popular photos of this photo dump. But there's also some very interesting details regarding the other photos, which I'll get into. But before I get into those interesting details, I want to go over this photo right here, which is the WSQK radio station van. Now, I don't know about you, but when I look at this photo, it screams Stranger Things. It screams season 2 Stranger Things vibes. It screams just 80s vibe, nostalgia, horror, mystery. It screams just amazing vibes, in my opinion. Whenever I saw this photo, I just knew that season 5 is going to be amazing. It just, the lighting of it, the vibe of the vehicle, you just know that they posted that van right there because that van is going to have a huge role in season 5. Joyce drives it. I'm pretty sure we've seen some leaks of her driving it 2 months ago. So we know that van is going to play a particular role in season 5. There's probably going to be some iconic moments involving that van, which is so exciting. And just that picture in general, the aesthetic, reminds me so much of OG Stranger Things, 80s vibe, nostalgia, all of the above. So I had to point that out because as soon as I saw that, I was like, yep, right there. You could show that to any Stranger Things fan and they would say, that's Stranger Things. Now let's get into my theory involving one of these photos and what it may mean for the future of Stranger Things. This photo right here was taken by Upside Down Pictures, or is posted by Upside Down Pictures on Instagram. And obviously it's the Duffer brothers, and I'm assuming one of the other writers, sitting in what seems to be a version version of the Upside Down. But this version of the Upside Down seems to be the OG tunnels from Season 2. If you compare them side by side, you can sort of see how the texture looks on the set. It looks like the same texture as the wall of the tunnels in the Upside Down in Season 2 in Stranger Things. So I think this is actually a tunnel set for Season 5. And the reason that's interesting is because back in 2023, I tried to find the tweet, but I know a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. The Stranger Things writers tweeted out, I don't know if it was a subtweet, that's why I couldn't find it, but I know they tweeted out something along the lines of, we advise you to rewatch Season 2 of Stranger Things before you rewatch Season 5. So obviously that means Season 2 is going to have something in common with Season 5. And obviously the Upside Down tunnels were in Season 2, and I'm not saying that they were just referring to the Upside Down tunnels, but that could be a huge part of what they're referring to when they say rewatch Season 2 before you watch Season 5. And maybe the Upside Down tunnels, which were only in Season 2, are just part of that plot that's returning in Season 5, and they just gave us our first hint at that. So I thought that was very interesting, and if we see those Upside Down tunnels, the vibes in Season 5 are going to be so awesome, and that's probably where all the monsters are going to come out of, which is just going to be insane. A whole map of tunnels beneath Hawkins, invading Hawkins. It's going to be one heck of a ride. The last thing I'm going to talk about, and I'm not saying that this is true, but I will say that a lot of people have been pointing out this picture right here, where it's like a picture of Robin, and in the background, someone's holding a vest. I can't tell you, it's only been up for like 4 hours, and I can't tell you how many people have told me that this is Eddie Munson's vest. And then I have another handful of people asking me, is this Eddie Munson's vest? Is Eddie Munson return? It's like, we have zero idea. There's no way any of us could tell, and any of us could look at that vest and say, oh yeah, that's Eddie Munson's vest. That looks exactly like Eddie Munson's vest. First of all, obviously vests were way more popular in the 80s, and that's just a part of the attire in probably the wardrobe of the Season 5 production. Like vests are probably in there, like jean vest. I'm sure they're all in there. Like, so I don't think we should look at that jean jacketed vest or whatever it's called and say, oh yeah, that's Eddie Munson's. It easily could be Steve Harrington's. It easily could be Jonathan's. No, not Jonathan, but it could be Steve Harrington's is what I'm saying, because Eddie Munson did hand off one of his vests, I forget where it was, to Steve and said, you know, for your pure modesty, dude, or whatever. If you guys remember that clip, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I don't think that vest means anything. I don't think that means, oh yeah, Eddie Munson's returning in Season 5. I do think he'll return eventually in a cameo or flashback, but I don't think that specific moment, that specific photo is saying like, oh yeah, Eddie Munson is back, guys. Another thing that I thought was interesting is a part of the first photo dump from Ross Duffer on his Instagram. If you scroll back like 8 pictures, one of the final pictures is a lunchbox. And on that lunchbox, I'm not really talking about the design on the lunchbox, but if you look closely, you can see that there's actually a bullet hole in the lunchbox. So that's very interesting. If the kids or the teenagers or someone of the main group were in a gun battle, a gunfight, like if they were getting shot at, that is something to keep an eye on. Like, is the military also attacking them, thinking they're like holding 11, you know, somewhere hiding her? Like, what does that mean? What does that mean where they have a lunchbox with a bullet hole? Is the military trying to kill the main group of kids? Is that what's happening right here? That's what I thought of as soon as I seen that. I was like, oh my God. Is that someone's lunchbox and they're literally getting shot at? Like, is that what it's come to? Like, we're not just fighting Vecna. Now we're fighting the military, getting shot at by humans, and then also trying to get, you know, attempted to be killed by Vecna and alternate dimension monsters. So if that's the case, man, oh man, Season 5 is going to be unreal. And like I said, that WSQK radio van, that just gave me the vibe of like, okay, we're good. This season's going to be phenomenal. That's pretty much all of my analysis on these photos. I didn't really have much to say besides that, so I want to know your guys' theories, thoughts, and comments and concerns about these photo dumps. Also, I wanted to talk about the next time we might see a photo dump. So if I had to guess, Netflix Totem, which is in the middle of June, might just be our next photo dump from here, because this photo dump was the first photo dump we've had in like 4 weeks. So that tells me that's been like a month. So Netflix Totem is pretty much like a month away from today. So it wouldn't surprise me if that was our last photo dump until Netflix Totem, which is going to be huge for Stranger Things, in my opinion. It's going to be the start of the actual build-up hype for Season 5. So don't expect a photo dump next Friday. I don't expect one. I hope we get one, but I'm not expecting any photo dump on next Friday. If we get one, great. But yeah, I would not expect any photo dump, honestly, until Netflix cut them. Maybe in 2 weeks from now, that would be cool. I hope they continue giving us photos, but just based off what they've done over the last month and their recent activity, I would assume our next photo dump is not going to be until Netflix cut them. But yeah, like I said, guys, let me know your thoughts on these photos. Appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for subscribing, following, supporting. Make sure to drop a like, hit that bell, join my Discord, and of course, check out my website, relay.news, link in description, where I post all my updates, all my theories, all my discussions, all my fun facts. And I also have a newsletter over there as well. Hope you guys join that, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace out.